Florida Brain Bank was established in 1987 to facilitate research efforts and support families in obtaining a diagnosis when someone's suffering from memory loss. Edith Gendron, who is the Brain Bank Coordinator for Central Florida, is here to share details of this important program. And Edith, welcome. And this is such an important program that I don't think people really knew any of the details or even that the Florida Brain Bank existed. So if you can just tell us simply, what is this? What are the options? How does someone get involved with the Florida Brain Bank?
It's the best kept secret, right, since 1987. It's essentially a post-mortem research study. The person that's going to participate needs to be fully registered and enrolled prior to loss, prior to death. And there's rigid but minimal criteria for inclusion.
So, okay, we have a family and someone is in the stages of either Alzheimer's, dementia, and so what kind of is the process for them to contact the Brain Bank?
You would just simply call the office and I will talk with the person. And the things that I will ask at that time are, is there a confirmed diagnosis by a physician of at least dementia? It doesn't have to be specific to any type, but dementia. The physician has to be one that the Brain Bank registers as, the Brain Bank recognizes as being qualified. A neurologist, of course, or the medical director of one of our memory disorder clinics. There has to have been an image of the brain, and there has to be a local full-service funeral home selected. And that's essentially it for enrollment.
So those are basically the steps. And now we'll kind of go to that point of where the loved one has died, and then they may be making funeral arrangements. Now, is there anything to consider with possibly having an open viewing? Does this come into play at all?
No, the only thing that being a participant causes is just a little deviation from going from the place of loss, place of death, to the funeral home. You would go from the place of loss to Arnold Palmer Hospital, where the donation is conducted. And then that does not interfere in any viewing whatsoever. There's nothing distressful.
You're not worried that your loved one would not look the same?
No, anyone could look at the person and not have anything distressing. It's all done very discreetly. And then they would just go on to the funeral home to do whatever the family had
already arranged.
Yeah, prearranged, whether it's a cremation or an interment or whatever.
And speaking of families, I would imagine this is something that getting some information from the Brain Bank after all of this information that maybe gives them some solace or information?
Yes, it provides a closure. It gives them the confirmed diagnosis. And that way families can go on to do some planning. Everyone is absolutely convinced it's always heredity, and it is not. Very rare that it is heredity.
Yeah, you mentioned this to me earlier off camera, that obviously people are concerned about their own mental health, or as we age, if we have a loved one, a parent that may have suffered, that gosh, is this automatically going to be something that I have to worry about?
No, it's not. I always encourage people to look at the way their parents ate, or if they had cardiac issues, or if they have other circulatory issues. In the course of nearly 6 years, I've had 2 people where it became a matter of heredity, where the diagnosis revealed that it was due to inheritance.
Yeah, oh gosh, that is a small percentage.
A very small percentage.
So I know we're going to have all the information on the screen, but then basically, okay, the Florida Brain Bank, how do we get in touch with you?
You call the office, 407-436-7752 is my direct line. It's a new number, so I had to stop and think about it. And we talk. And we go over some of the basic things. I send out an application. There's no cost to join the Brain Bank. There's no cost for the autopsy. There is no cost for the neuropathology report.
Gosh, that's wonderful.
There is a hidden cost, as I put it, that the majority of funeral homes will charge for the transportation from the place of loss to Arnold Palmer.
Well, Edith, I am so grateful to learn about the Brain Bank and how it helps families and fosters research. Thanks again.
Thank you.